You're listening to Three's a Crowd, the North East Footy Podcast, with Rye for Boro, Steve for Newcastle United, and Ted for Sunderland.
Welcome to Three's a Crowd, where justice is served. Where justice is served. Where justice is served. The North East never brings game into disrepute like you Southerners. The best North East party in the world. Welcome to Three's a Crowd. My name is Rye. I am joined by the lovely man on my left, Steve Wraith, and the other ugly man on my right, Mr. Ted the Mackem. That was a low blow. I'm sorry about that. I hope you all are fantastic, safe and well. Happy Wednesday. Listen to it. Listen to it. Sit down, Boro fans. Relax. Put your feet up because we're going to Wembley. What a couple of 48 hours it's been quite quiet in the Middlesbrough front of things. Sunderland, Newcastle are sitting down and relaxing as their other counterpart takes the full front of the EFL on. And Steve Gibson, my God, has he come up trumps again? And he's taken Southampton and taken them to town. We caught them. We've taught them. And we've taken them, and we are back in for the final on Saturday as things stand. There is an appeal that is meant to happen this afternoon with Southampton. I will get everyone's thoughts on that in due course. But it's time to say a big, good, beautiful afternoon to Mr. Steve Wraith. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello, mate. Well done. Justice was served. Honestly, I was over the moon for you, Rye, and all of our Boro fans who tune into this podcast. It's been an interesting couple of days, hasn't it? It really has, and I think we all knew what the outcome was going to be. Want to congratulate Nick DeMarco, the man who helped Newcastle United get his takeover.
I love him.
He's now going to have a statue built outside St James's and a statue built outside the Riverside. Correct. So well done to him. Well done to Nick. I did pass on me private congratulations to him. But well done, mate. It's I don't think they've got a leg to stand on with the appeal. I have to say, I think if they'd only been found guilty of spying on Middlesbrough, I think that would have been you might not be in this position now. I think the fact that this is something that's gone on, with other clubs as well, it's damning. It really is. And the fact that the manager's now come out in his defence and said, "I thought you could do that in this country." They haven't got a leg to stand on. They haven't. So well done. Boro need to now make sure that they go and do the business at Wembley. It's a one-off game. It's the £180 million pound game. And it's against Hull City. You've just got to make sure that you do the business, do the business. But well done for the Boro as well on making sure that they were training all the way through, just in case. Because they had the flip-flops on and they're all gone on holiday.
Exactly. Imagine we'd been sent away for a holiday to put our feet up, put the flip-flop thongs, or thongs as I call them. That's probably inappropriate for you boys. But honestly, it's been thank goodness that the EFL came to that, because I was scared that they weren't going to have the cojones. And I would say the other thing, but they came in, Teddy boy. They had their big zipper on their pants. They unzipped it and they went flop on the desk in front of Southampton. It was absolutely fantastic to see, Teddy boy.
Absolutely brilliant, mate. And we spoke when you couldn't be asked to turn up the other day.
I was too disappointed.
How is Mrs. Wright?
Yes,
no, she's
better.
Thank you so much. She is better. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Was she sick because she's just putting up with you 7 days a week?
Exactly.
I thought that might be it. Emotional trauma or something.
From that loss, I was sitting outside drinking constantly, and she'd had enough. And she said, "Well, if I'm going to have a break at the hospital and you take over," sort of thing. So that was how it went down.
Bless her heart. No, I'm glad. Honestly, glad that she's just doing well, mate. But no, the result, 100% deserved. Southampton are basically red and white Coventry. Yep. I think their defence for doing what they did was totally unacceptable. I mean, even if the manager didn't know what the rules were, everybody else does, including the scout who's been doing it. Yep. So, and history dictates, using the old line that I was only following the Germans' orders has not really worked out well for anybody, has it? So, it's the right result. I'm very surprised as well, like you said, about the EFL having the cojones to do it. I did figure the worst and think they're just going to slap them with a fine, maybe some sort of fine, or maybe a points deduction later on if they ended up in the EFL. The truth of the matter is they are in the EFL, and I just wonder, they've admitted 3 counts of it. They went on a 19-game unbeaten run.
Mate.
Sorry, but there's a rabbit away there. They've owned up to 3 out of I feel like many more than must have been. So, yeah, they got what they deserved. We rushed to social media last night, not just to congratulate Boro, but just to get stuck into Harwood Bellis as well, and give him what for, and give the Southampton fans what for. Yeah, where's your binoculars celebration now? Love it, absolutely love it. I love seeing Prats like Southampton get exactly what they deserve. Now, what's going to be really interesting, because there's a rumour going around on social media that the players are getting ready to sue their own club, which the fallout of this could be immense. It answers one question: over the moon, especially if you're our mate. Of course, we're over the moon that you're going to be in the playoff final, mate, because it means a lot to try and get Boro into the Premier League and this become an all Premier League show. That's what we want. Of course we do. But, ultimately, I've got no sympathy for Southampton at all. No sympathy for the players, no sympathy for the fans. But the ramifications of what happens after this, Wrexham have now got to feel hard done by and go, well, we should have been in the playoffs then.
I mean, Oxford got relegated.
The after effect of this. The Oxford one's a bit more clear cut because Oxford actually won the game that they were spied on. So, the scout needs sacking, to be honest.
It's funny. Not just for a little sneak. Didn't affect their results, wasn't it? Do you know what I mean? The two games were a draw to Ipswich and a loss to Oxford Town. It was incredible to see, mate. And honestly, I think one thing, I think you're absolutely one thing moving forward is that there are going to be so much legal avenues for other teams to come into. You've got Millwall, who lost the whole. They're not involved, but Wrexham, who just missed out on the playoffs. If they hadn't gone on this run, Southampton wouldn't have been in there. It is an absolute dog's breakfast, this, and the EFL have got a long road, and they've got all Southampton to thank for that. If you have just tuned in, welcome to Three's a Crowd. A statement from Southampton Football Club just went out just before we went live. Phil Parsons, the chief executive, has said, and I won't read out the whole thing, you can go out into Southampton's Twitter page, which is always a barrel of laughs if you want to head over there. In short text, he said, what happened was wrong. The club has admitted that we breached the EFL regulations, and we are sorry to the other clubs involved. Get your tissues ready. And most of all, the Southampton supporters who are extraordinary loyalty and support this season deserved better from our club. We do believe, however, we accept that should be a sanction, but we cannot accept the sanction which bears no proportion to the offence. Whereas Leeds were fined $200,000 for a similar offence, Southampton have been denied the opportunity to compete in a game worth more than £200 million and one that means so much to our staff, players, and supporters. He goes on and goes blah, 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 blah. But it honestly, I don't know what you were expecting when you cheat in a playoff game. The only thing they can do in that playoff game to smack you across the back of the head is remove you from said playoff game. A smart man on Twitter just said, I once stole Hubba Bubba from a corner store. It was great flavor. What happened was wrong, but the shopkeeper removing me from the store was highly overproportionate. When I know he steals a chocolate milk daily and gets to stay, I will appeal. I mean, that is the lengths that I think that Southampton has been. And ever since Southampton have been found guilty or been accused of this, they have been in such denial. Exactly, Teddy boy. And I'm so glad you found that, because it is absolutely perfect for it. And I cannot see this appeal going any other way but in Boro's favour, because they have admitted to the charges. There is nothing you can do but to smack you over across the back of the head and remove you from the playoffs when you've cheated in the playoffs. And like Teddy boy said, nail on the head as well, you cannot tell me that you've only spied on Oxford and Ipswich in terms of doing it once in December, taking a break till April, then taking a break until doing it into the playoffs. You're having an absolute laugh if you think that's the truth. I tell you what, and it's absolutely disgusting. And I'm glad we will wait for the appeal, though, this afternoon before Middlesbrough fans can, in fact, know that we are going to Wembley on Saturday. 3:30 p.m. will be the kickoff time for that on Saturday, and your boy is coming on a plane. Don't you worry about that. As soon as we get past this appeal, I'm on a plane, okay? I'm on a plane. You heard it here first, Three's a Crowd. I'm on a plane! We have got 2 more games of football to play, though, in the Premier League. Newcastle are taking on Fulham. Sunderland are taking on Chelsea. And we've got still a relegation battle to be decided, lads, after last night's results. We are going down to the wire. Tottenham Hotspur or West Ham will be joining Southampton in the Championship. And we will see who is going to make European places and who will finish above the table of each other. Newcastle and Sunderland neck and neck there after 2 good wins. It's going to be very interesting. And of course, a slightly massive game on Saturday if Boro are to be there as well. Lots to talk about. We thank you so much for joining us, and we appreciate each and every one of you. Leave the comments down below. Teddy boy, over to you first, mate. Great win on the weekend, good sir. It keeps you above Newcastle and it also keeps you in touch with the others above you. I think, personally, without being no disrespect, that I don't think that European is on. I mean, you've got Bournemouth now in 6th, Brighton on 53 points, Chelsea in 8th on 52. I mean, you can technically do it. It's going to be a long shot, though. But, I mean, who knows? 7th or 8th is still in the cards for Sunderland, mate.
Yeah, so just for anybody who's confused about how this is going to work points-wise on Sunday, we need to beat Chelsea. That's a given. Correct. We absolutely definitely need to do that. We also need to hope that Brentford drop points against Liverpool. Yes. Which that would then put us into Europa Conference position. If we win, Brentford get beat and Brighton get beat, then that means a Europa League position. But that's all, we've just got to win our own game, to be honest with you. Yeah. Sunday's, the performance against Everton, first half, I mean, I messaged you lads at half time, said we're just shot shy. We didn't test Jordan Pickford at all, really. And Everton were there for the take, and it took them a deflected shot. Even after that went in, it kind of just Everton just looked done. They looked completely on the beach. I think I even said to you, lads, it was a flip-flop game, and it just looked like both sides had settled for it. I don't know what was said at half-time, but Sunderland came out a completely different animal. I was sat around a couple of guys in the pub watching it who, not Sunderland fans either, all just waxing lyrical about Robbie. And he just came through there. I mean, Steve will remember watching the likes of Mick Harford and centre forwards like that who were bullies. Exactly. I love that. Hard as goat's knees. Exactly, though. Exactly. And Robbie just bullied Tarkowski. Tarkowski's he's no duck egg of a defender. He's a good player. And Robbie just shoved him off like he wasn't even there. It was just fantastic to watch, a proper number 9's performance, and took his goal extremely well. He's had that strength. We've talked about that, being able to bully the central defenders, but he had that need to become much more clinical. And I think we're just starting to see that in his game now as well. The substitutions were excellent. I want to pay specific praise to Diarra, who's been getting it in the neck by certain factions of the crowd. He's a young kid. He's 20-year-old. Give him time to improve. Some of these fans that everyone's entitled to their opinion, fair enough, but call them crap and all that sort of thing. It's the same prats who were going on about Semenyo being shite as well. And I'm paraphrasing what I saw on social media back then. He's doing all right now as well. So let's just give the lad a bit of time. He got 2 assists on the day as well, Diarra, which I'm absolutely delighted for him. Enzo Lefebvre's second half, his first half, admittedly, wasn't his best game for us by a long chalk. He absolutely ran it in the second half, and we need to keep on to keep a hold of players like him. He was asked about, the links to Liverpool and all that sort of thing. He's made it very clear he's 100% happy at Sunderland. He feels like he's got a lot more to give to the club before he talks about leaving for big clubs and that sort of thing, which is lovely to see as well. He was superb. And then, obviously Isidore just tapping one in at the end, took his goal really well. I would like to see us keep a hold of him. I think he has got something to offer the club, but, depending on what happens at this weekend, and Steve will have been through this conundrum as well with if we do get European football, that transforms what we need to do in the summer.
Yep.
If we don't get Europe, I think we need 4 real good quality signings just to bolster the squad and add quality. If we get Europe, all of a sudden you've got to double that and more. And that's assuming we keep hold of everybody. So listen, let's not get too excited. We've got a game on Sunday. Sorry, before I go any further, Luke 09, absolutely world-class, I thought, on Sunday. And I don't say that often about Lukey. He's had his critics. I've been one of them. He was absolutely faultless on Sunday. Some of the tackles he put in was like something out of the 80s and 90s. They were huge tackles. Get away. We spoke, right? Anyone who's watching, we spoke about this before. And Steve was a centre-back in non-league as well. I've done some Sunday league stuff. We would have got extra pints. We would have got an extra Yorkshire pudding in the carvery if we tackled like that. It was absolutely superb to see. Going on to the match on Sunday, honestly, I fancy us. I really do fancy us. I've got a weird feeling that Chelsea, honestly, probably you're just trying to curse us, mate. Wait till the predictions. I'm going to flummox you on that. I honestly think that Chelsea could do without Europa League and could do without European Conference, especially with Alonso coming in. I don't think they're going to fancy Europe at all. I think he'll want a season where he can coach them. It's in their interests not to be in there. We've just got to go at it full-blooded. I know the fans are going to be there early. We're going to do exactly the same as what we did against Coventry last season. The flares are going to be going. You know, the fans are going to be waiting for the players arriving on the coach. It's going to be a carnival atmosphere. It's almost like a European playoff, to be honest with you, on Sunday. I fancy us. But regardless of the result, lads, what a season. What a season. Even if we get beaten, the Mags finish above us, I think we've had an absolutely outstanding season. To come up and do what we've done.
Amazing.
And there's only one club done the double over us all season, and that was Fulham. And they're probably going to do us a favour on Sunday as well, but that's another story. No, brilliant season. I'm almost sad to see the end of it, but I'm looking forward to what should be a great atmosphere on Sunday.
It's going to be very, very interesting. Breaking news as well. Akun Ikali, who is the owner of Hull City, has come out with a statement saying our lawyer's opinion is that we should go directly to the Premier League. We've been preparing for Southampton for 10 days. All the planning, analysis and work was focused on them. We shouldn't have to face Middlesbrough this weekend. It just goes on and on. Over to you, Mr. Stevie Wraith. Obviously, Newcastle getting a good win, mate, but it wasn't without its critics. Obviously, Anthony Gordon staying on the bench again. Rumours of him already pre-agreeing a deal to Bayern Munich last week as well, which was absolutely incredible to see. And then we saw Bruno and Willock having a little bit of a Dyer/Boya 2.0, which was absolutely fantastic. And I thought that was going to rumble on. But look, honestly, there is still the chance, again, with results just like Teddy Boy, that there is European spots up for grabs. But again, listening to TalkSport's financial expert, Stefan Borson, who said that it wouldn't be the best situation for Newcastle to get into Europe because of the finances and PSR and everything like that. And it's actually probably going to be better if Newcastle sit out. Your thoughts on that, mate, and obviously everything you saw on the weekend?
Yeah, I mean, listen, it was a good game at the weekend, last game of the season. Newcastle have found a way of playing with Voldemort and Asula better than never. Asula is quick. There's been some interesting comparisons by people whose opinion I trust in my circle, comparing him to Supermac bizarrely, because he's got that funny kind of running gait and he's very, very quick. Look, he's a work in progress, Asula. He's got a bit about him. He's got character, and that might be the best. That might be the best thing that happened in Newcastle all season, not allowing him to go in the January transfer window. 10 million signing from Sheffield United, 15 million goes up to on appearances. That could just be the signing that saves us a lot of money. Walter Morta, alongside Asula in that 10 role, looked brilliant at the weekend for me. And there's lots to be positive about as we go into the break for the, in the end of the season. With regards to Europe, part of me really wanted to be in Europe again next year. But as the options had dropped down to the Conference League, it's a trophy. I'm sure that, Crystal Palace will be delighted if they win it this year. The fans will be happy. They've had some great European trips to places you've never likely to go back to. But, from my perspective, am I going to be crying in me Newcastle Brown Ale if we don't, now that we're not going to get it? No, I'm not. I probably feel that if Sunderland get it, it could be the undoing of them next season, because they're going to have to spend money and they're going to have a hell of a lot of games and a lot of travel. It's a completely different different scenario for them next season. So part of me really wants Sunderland to get it, to see, to see exactly how they're fair. But then the other side of it, it's, that means that they're going to finish above us. And yeah, we were having a bit of banter, me and Ted during the week about he says top dogs is already secured because they've beaten us twice this season. But if we finish above them, it gives us the bragging rights. It means it gives us the bragging rights to say we are the North East's top dogs. And I know it would get the Sunderland fans if we finished above them. They're already created a new song that we're singing, about us. I saw it on Twitter this week. But you know what? Listen, it's the Derby defeat hurt. It doesn't bother me. I'll go into next season, knowing that we've got to, and we know we've got to do better against our rivals next season. So, but look, for me, Newcastle's situation with Anthony Gordon.
You think he's pre-agreed?
It's already obvious that I think they know he's leaving. I think there's obviously been something going on behind the scenes. We've seen situations spill out onto the pitch with Trippier and Gordon in the season, and that situation with Walter Marder over the penalty. Trippier got involved in that. I think there's been a little bit of that behind the scenes, and I genuinely feel that I think it's a good deal for Anthony Gordon. It's a good deal for Newcastle United. There won't be the outcry that there was over Alexander Isak leaving. So, going away to Germany and potentially sitting on the bench for best part of the season, or maybe
I can't see him starting.
I think he goes more in for filling in for Harry Kane, and maybe playing up front with a supply line and playing in a German league. I think he's got a chance of scoring lots of goals. But look,
has he ruined his England chances?
I don't think he's ruined his England chances, because I think Tuchel values him and sees him as the starter. He sees him as a starter in the World Cup. Yeah. I don't think that's an issue.
But he hasn't played.
But he hasn't. No, he was injured, and let's on the face of it, if he doesn't play against Fulham, he's missed 5 games. So he hasn't played. I think on the flip side of that, people will say, well, he's fully fit and he goes into training camp. I think maybe there's. Has he been dropped? Is it Eddie teaching him a lesson, or is it just a case of, look, Newcastle protecting their asset? They don't want him to get injured before the transfer window, and he'd be out the door very quickly. I think that's what'll happen, and we need to get that done. I think there's been Anthony Gordon's agents probably said, we want this done before the World Cup. We don't want any distractions. When he was away with England last time, there was distractions for Anthony Gordon. His head had been turned by a potential move to Liverpool. So I generally think that that's what's been done. They don't want that to happen this time. So, look, good luck to him. I hope that we get the price that we should get for him, which is around about 75 to 80 million. And let's then hope that we can invest it quickly. I think one thing that I've noticed, and we'll be covering it on the show during the summer, is that Newcastle are certainly looking elsewhere. We're not getting linked with the ridiculous names that we've been linked with in the past, 80, 90 million pound strikers, We're being linked with 25, 30 million pound players who I would say would fancy a move to the Premier League and fancy a move to Newcastle. So I think that's it. I think we are going to be shopping in that Malik Chow area, 25, 30 million pound from Milan was a steal for him. He's played over 50 games. But I think, I just genuinely think, look, it's been a better end of the season than we thought. I think on reflection, if we finish 10th, 9th or 10th, that's a fair reflection on where we deserve to finish this season. But when you look at it points-wise and how tight the Premier League is, can Eddie really be criticised? Last 16 of the Champions League, semi-finals of the Cup, 5th round of the FA Cup, and probably 6 points. Six points, it turns out. 6 points, 2 Derby wins away from the Champions League. That's where Newcastle probably could finish this season. Crazy. And that's a bad season. It shows you how high the expectation is now as far as Newcastle United is concerned. But great end of the season. I didn't stay for the walk around the pitch. I'm 54. I'm 54, not 9.
Did you get in the photo?
I don't need to stand there and give them a clap off. I'm there home and away. I'm there home and away all season, bloody clapping them off the pitch. You know what I mean? So, and I said goodbye to Kieran Trippier when he came off the pitch and was substituted. Yeah. So, I'll leave that to the kids and the families and people who want to hold bits of cardboard up begging for shirts.
That's me, by the way, this weekend at Wembley. It's going to be very, very interesting to see, obviously, who does finish above each other in the top dog for the Northeast. But, lads, the title has been won. Arsenal have ended the 22-year drought to win the Premier League title. They've held off Man City, who look to be losing Pep Guardiola as well. Interesting times as well. Going into the Premier League next season is going to be very, very interesting. We've seen Michael Carrick now at the helm of Man United. We might see Maresca at the helm of Man City. We've got Mikel Arteta. Are we losing the battles of the great managers, Teddy Boy, in the Premier League? I mean, it seems to be a young man's game as well. There's no longer the Roy Hodgsons. I mean, David Moyes must be sitting there going, geez, I'm old. Because, I mean, you've got Carrick versus Arteta versus Maresca now potentially. No more Pep Guardiola potentially for Man City as well. I mean, are we losing some class managers now for the Premier League going into next season?
I think it's gone through definitely a change of the times, but it evolves all the time. For me, Premier League football, this isn't peak Premier League for me. Peak Premier League was Ferguson versus Wenger. That's when Highbury was still going as a ground, and it has maybe lost a little bit of its sparkle, and the managers play a massive part in that.
Don't they? The style of
even
football.
The likes of Big Sam, as much as that probably what makes Steve want to regurgitate whatever he's had for lunch. I like Big Sam as a character, and he was interesting. His press conferences were always good. His daft little bits of banter with Jose Mourinho were always, it was just entertaining. Yeah, this turnaround of managers is different. What I would like to see is, obviously, our French manager. Yes, I would love to see him win the league with us one day, but that's going to be a long way off. I want to see an English manager come to the fore, and I honestly
not a Swedish one.
No, definitely not a Swedish one. I want to see an English manager. An English manager has not won the top flight since Howard Wilkinson with Leeds. This is before the Premier League even existed.
I always knew you were a secret black and white, Ted. I always knew you were a secret black and white. He wants Eddie Howe to win the Premier League.
Absolutely doesn't. I honestly think, though, Man United will challenge next season for the title. I really do. I think under Carrick, I think they will challenge. If they buy well in the summer, I think they've got a chance. And
if they get Anderson, I'm jumping on your back. If they get Elliot Anderson, by the way.
Viv Anderson.
It's a bit odd, like.
We need to talk about obviously letting Anderson go. What a player he's turned out to be. But
Pamela.
Pamela. Don't know who you're talking about.
She plays with two up front.
Yeah, she does.
No, honestly, I think the Premier League needs a good Man United. I really do. I think that's what.
So does
that's
the Premier
what the Premier
League.
League is. He's absolutely disgusted at me.
You barked at him earlier.
So that's the line, is it?
I can't stand Man United.
I know you can't, but doesn't it make the Premier League more interesting with a competitive Man United?
No. They only did well this season because they didn't have any games to play. Get back in the Champions League now, they are going to suffer. And Michael Carrick, he went stale at Middlesbrough.
He did.
And they've still got the problem. Listen, this is an old Three's crowd topic, which we used to talk about all the time, and I used to chuck in all the time. The problem Man United have got is the Glazers, and it's not changed yet. It's still not changed yet. And they're more fickle. I think Man United fans are more fickle than any other fan in the UK. They're the ones. I mean, we've got flip-floppers. We've got people who change their mind like they change their underpants or knickers on a regular basis on a weekend. But Man United, I've never known out like it. And I can tell you from my conversations with Melly on podcasts and privately, he's exactly one of them. We'll get Melly back on the show over the summer, definitely.
Definitely. definitely.
Because I think Ange Postecoglou once said that my second season is better. Well, Michael Carrick's is worse. So enjoy that one, Man United fans. It's going to be very interesting to see. And I don't know what his summer's going to be like as well, because I honestly think
dogs abuse here,
mate. I sat through Michael Carrick for 3 years. Okay, I know what the style of football is to come, and I tell you what, it ain't fun. And it ain't exciting, and it ain't Champions League worthy. I tell you that. Look, good luck to him. He's got a better squad and more money to do it. Hopefully
he's going to lose out to Sunderland, though. I'm telling you that for now.
Yeah, dude, he looks ready to go. Did you see him the other week? Yeah. He loves it. He loves the mackems.
He does.
It's going to be very interesting to see, though, lads. And I honestly think next season, if Middlesbrough can join the Premier League ranks, it's going to be very interesting to see who can get over who, because it's honestly it feels like the old guard is gone. Apart from David Moyes, Pep Guardiola potentially stepping aside, Xabi Alonso coming in with the 5 at the back system that he loves to play. That's going to be fun to watch, Xabi. I mean, you've got Michael Carrick at Man United. You're going to have Arnie Slot, who is trying to be Klopp 2.0, but he's going to. I don't know. Yeah, I mean, I don't know who's going to be in charge of Liverpool. But
Fulham's manager's going.
I mean, you've got him going. You've got the Bournemouth manager going. I mean, it's a complete change of guard in the manager ranks, and we haven't even looked at the players next season. And I think there's going to be a lot of people, Teddy Boy, knocking on your barn door. I do believe that, because I think Regis will be hot property coming very soon. Eddie Howe as well. What's he going to do? Is he going to stick around?
He's staying now, yeah. And the Saudis who have completely lost interest, according to some people in our fan base, have just bought the bloody Leaders Terrace, and they've now put a huge cash injection into the club again. So Newcastle United fans needn't worry about Saudi. They're there for the long term, and I think we'll have a better season next season.
It's going to be very, very interesting. Lads,
Sorry, lads. Sorry. Just a quick question, Steve, because I saw that about the purchasing the property. What's the plan with that then?
They've just bought it off another Saudi. So the Saudi bought it when Newcastle was taken over by PIF. It was purchased by a Saudi businessman, and he's now sold it to PIF. So PIF, we own that now. So that's really just going to remain as it is, and essentially be rented out to students as it is at the moment. But it means that if Newcastle decided to build on that land, or extend the stadium, or build the second stadium, the new stadium behind St James's Park and Leazes Park, if we manage to get that permission, then there wouldn't be any objections from people, because Saudi own that land. So that's all. It's part of the plan. I think that's what it is. But I still don't expect any new stadium until maybe 2030. 2030 is the big year for Saudi as a country. For PIF, it's the big celebration year. But on top of that as well, we've got 2028, where we are one of the grounds for the Euros. So I think on top of that well, when the stack was built, they extended the license for 4 years, which I think takes us to 2028-29 season. So I think everything points to either a new stadium being built, or we'll have an announcement about a new stadium being built on Leazes if we get permission to do that, or any extension that'll happen, but it won't happen until the Euros have been played. I don't think, anyway. I could be wrong. I think what we'll hear next is the new shirt sponsor, Sellers going, and then I think what we'll hear is the training ground announcement, which we all know. Wolsingham is the place where they think they're going to build it, and that again, the plans that have been circulating, not being verified, but the plans that have been circulating for that have been leaked, if you like, look fantastic. So I think there's going to be lots of reasons to be positive. I think lots of things that the Newcastle fans have been getting up in arms about over this season will start to be rectified over the course of the next few weeks. It's not going to be quiet this summer. Newcastle's never quiet anyway. That's how we end up doing 7 shows a week on NUFC Matters. But I think I'll be talking a bit more about off-field scenarios rather than transfers. This season, this pre-season.
Well, I was up for putting my flip-flops on and going down to the beach, but that's not going to happen. 1, because it's winter in Australia, and 2, because there's going to be so many legal rumblings going on from our saga as well. And old Teddy Boy gets to sit over here with, I wonder if Enzo Lafay will stay. What a fucking great time that's going to be, Teddy Boy, for you, hey? I'll tell you what. Anyway,
wow. An F-bomb on Three's a Crowd, really?
I'm sorry, are we allowed to swear? Okay, I'm sorry.
That's 3 in the afternoon.
I'm sorry.
Man, there's kids watching. Man.
I know it's nearly midnight. It's nearly midnight where he is. It's
almost 1 a.m.
12 kind of Fosters.
I haven't slept in 6 days, man. I'm waiting for all these bloody Southampton fans to bugger off. It's going to be very, very interesting. We've got a long way to go. We've got a big second half of the show. We've come to the end of the season. Can you believe it? But don't worry, we're not going anywhere. Like Steve said, we've got so much to talk about that we're going to be with you all summer long, right here. But right now, we have to sit back, relax, put your flip-flops on, because it's time for Troll of the Week.
Great to see Keir Starmer getting some support at 10 Downing Street this week. And this is fantastic. What a great tattoo. Forever with us, Michael Jackson. Touched so many. Has got a football reference, Fulham. Walked through the park this week outside Ted's old house just to reminisce in Sunderland.
Oh, happy memories.
And great definition here. Shat myself. Had sudden fear or panic and soiled myself. I was going to climb to the summit, but I shat myself and came back down. That's a Scottish phrase book there for you lads. Read out in Welsh.
Lovely.
If bedbugs are found on beds, who the hell came up with the name cockroach, says this young man.
Hey, good point.
And I told my taxidermist I wanted the squirrel mounted holding a nut, and this is what I get. Summer's coming, outdoor sports, crazy golf.
Well,
I'd think that one.
And poolside reading for Rye. Sun salutation anus. Anal solar absorption to elevate body and spirit. Something you definitely need that, right?
Is that
like just think the sun shines out of his ass?
Does that calm the mind?
Been filling a few forms in this week for boring things, lads. This one tickled us. Are you childish? And controversial decisions at the weekend involving Ted's favourite second team, Man United. Of course it wasn't a handball. Meanwhile, outside Wembley.
Oh, poor bloke. He's got to reprint him.
Del Boy selling a few of them. And time for a sing-song, lads. So come on, do the no promotion with me.
Oh, Kylie,
good news as well. No tickets for Boro fans because Southampton have sold their allocation out. And a new badge for Southampton going into next season.
Yes.
And Southampton are not just out, they're out.
They're out.
New team strips being released for Liverpool. As always, we get photographs doing the rounds on social media this time of year. Never far from me, mind your brat. This man has somehow managed to look like Alan Shearer, Wayne Rooney, and Ronan Keating all at once.
It's impressive.
That is a great lookalike, isn't it? And gorgeous dress, bought for 40. Had less than an hour. Excellent condition. Only 120 for it. Will drop if local. Dave Newton says, "Can I have it unwashed?" David T. Howard says, "You dirty twat." He went, "Yeah, that's the smell I'm hoping for."
Jesus Christ.
I wish you wouldn't send us these, Ted.
Oh my God, Ted. Disgusting.
Finishing up for this one, Domino's Pizza introducing our new Chelsea season pizza. That's giving Ted a bit of hope for the weekend. If you've got any tweets, send them to Ted the Mackem, at Invictus, or at Steve Wraith on X. We'll pick them up and we'll get the count.
Welcome back to Three's a Crowd. That was Troll of the Week. We are joined by Mr. Steve Wraith and Mr. Ted Mackem and myself, Rye, bringing you all the best of the very best place on earth, the Northeast football clubs. It's going to be a massive end to the Premier League this weekend. Middlesbrough also heading to Wembley, barring an appeal. We've got so much to talk about. Lads, back onto Spygate 2.0. It's been absolutely frivolous. We've seen every single man in the media and every single podcaster come out and want to talk about it. But I want you two lads to sit here and with your honest opinions, put your heart on your heart, your hand on your heart, your heart on your eye. I want you to swear to me, was the punishment given to Southampton over extortionate, or was it on par with what you think was deserved? Alan Shearer this morning saying that he thought that it was too harsh of a punishment. So did Simon Jordan on TalkSport. A lot of these media boys coming out saying they felt the punishment for Southampton to lose the chance to play in the playoff final was too harsh. So I want your hand on your heart. Steve, I'm going to come to you first, mate, because you are the wisdom. You're meant to be the one that, when this trio was formed, there was brains, looks, and a cat. All right? And that's how they formed us. Okay? Yep. You were the brains. I was the looks. Monkey. Exactly. You know what I mean? And Ted was the cat. You know what I mean? It was, and I don't know how that works, Ted, but don't you know what I mean? But was the punishment handed out to Southampton, in your view, without forgetting me and your love for me and how much you love me? Was it too much?
Look, for me, mate, 100% this punishment is right. Now, the reason, and the way I'll back that up is, we've had Spygate 1, which was Leeds United. Leeds United,
£200,000.
That was £200,000. But, and the but is, they changed the rules after that.
Yep.
And this isn't a one-off event. This isn't an intern turning up at Boro's training ground and doing this once. This is 100% cheating at an extreme level. This is more than one team being spied on at the detriment to those teams, and that's not fair. That's cheating. It's against the laws of the game, which were implemented after the Leeds United Spygate issue. So this guy, this manager, was fully aware of what his team were doing, and it's wrong. So he's broken the rules, and that's harsh, but it's fair at the same time. And I think I would have given a different, maybe a slightly different answer if this had just been Middlesbrough.
Yeah,
I think there was a get out there, but it's not. Yeah. And these are all the teams that have the teams that we know that they've spied on. That's the ones that we know that they spied on. How many other teams have they spied on this season? You can't do that. You cannot do that. It's not. It's against everything that we stand for, but it's also against the rules. So they've cheated. So for me, they made the bed and they've got to lie in it, and that's it. It's as simple as that. So they've got no sympathy for me. The fans have got sympathy for me because it's not their fault. The players who were expecting to potentially play in the Premier League next season, and I tell you what, the FA, the ballsed up because Southampton should never have played Middlesbrough. That's what should have happened. This should have been nipped in the bud before the playoffs started. And Southampton should have been deducted points. If you were going to do it in a different way, there should have been either deducted points and given a huge fine, and that would have kept it right. But as usual, the powers that be have dilly-dallied and they've made a rod for their own back now. They can't go back on this decision. They cannot go back on this decision. They can't, on appeal, they cannot then give a financial fine. They have gone hard and they've gone, for me, with the right decision. They can't go back on it. They cannot go back on it. It's wrong if they do. I think it'd be holy hell on. I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know how they sort it out. I tell you what will happen. There'll be no. I can't see them playing a playoff game because Nick DeMarco's got a bit between his teeth and Steve Gibson's got deep pockets, and I can genuinely see Nick DeMarco and Steve Gibson winning the case. I just don't think. I don't think the FA will look at this and don't think they won't have a leg to stand on. And who's going to create more of a problem for them? Brad and Nick DeMarco and Steve Gibson with unlimited pockets, or Southampton who broke the rules. I don't think Southampton whinge and cry as much as they want, but I think the FA have got to stand strong. So, yeah, listen, got nothing to do with knowing you, Rye. That's the way I feel. And it's not just once, mate. It's 2 times, it's 3 times, it's 4 times. They've broken the rules. That's the way it should be looked at, and that's the way it should be broken down. And I'm just sorry for the fans who've been affected in all of this.
Absolutely well said, Steve. Teddy boy, over to you, mate. I mean, Steve hit the nail on the head as well. We saw this happen under Marco Bielsa in Leeds in 2019. Bielsa, or I should say Leeds, were fined at that stage $200,000. The EFL then rewrote the rules to make sure that spying would not come into our game. They obviously were aware of it from European other leagues and stuff like that, but they wrote the rules. What they failed to do, though, because they are absolutely the smartest bunch on the world, was they failed to write the punishment that would go with this rule if it was broken. So they have had to come up with a punishment. Was that punishment, in your eyes, for getting that you love me, fair or too harsh?
No, it was absolutely fair. And to be honest, I'm just clocking the time, so 45 and a half minutes. Let's make sure we get plenty of Southampton hashtags when we post this as lads, because I want Southampton's social media person to actually see this part. So start watching at around about 45 and a half minutes, Southampton's social media guy. Can you remember when you beat us 4-2 at St Mary's and you posted, it was Alan Armstrong got a couple of goals, and you give it the Howe the lads, and you post. Well, F around and find out, mate. I couldn't care less if you scored out in League One, League Two, go out of business. You get exactly what you deserve, Southampton.
Absolutely love it, Teddy boy. And Steve, obviously, there's our thoughts here from Two's Crowd. Obviously, as a Middlesbrough fan, guys, you can't even question me. I think it's poor as ever. And to sit there as a Southampton fan now, the chairman coming out and saying that the punishment was disproportionate to what the crime that was committed, it is absolutely ridiculous, because you have been doing it since Tonda Eckert came in. You have been doing it all season long, and then you did it into the playoffs. They cannot deduct points in the playoffs because it is a knockout competition. As Steve said, the games probably shouldn't go on ahead. We reported it to the EFL and left it to them. We did the right thing as a football club. We caught them, we got the evidence, and we sent it to the EFL. That's all that Middlesbrough did, and then left it to the EFL. The EFL then said, go and play your 2 games, we'll get it sorted. We lost over those 2 games. We drew the first game. We lost the second game. No ifs or buts about that. But the damage was done before that even happened, and I agree the game shouldn't even played. Hull, and now as well, breaking news is also, if you are just joining us, Hull are looking down their legal avenues as well, because they are saying that they have been unfairly treated in this whole mess as well. It's an absolute crazy mess. On to the weekend, 2 more Premier League games.
Just get the notes off Southampton.
Oh, mate, it's going to drag on. There's going to be so much to come out on this. And I think like I said, Teddy and Steve, excuse me, I still think Wrexham, I still think the likes of Derby, I still think these likes of teams that they have got legs to stand on now down legal avenues, because Southampton have admitted to this. They have admitted to spying throughout the season. Therefore, they have gained unfair advantage over the teams they have beat. They went on a 19-game winning run under this bloke that was doing it unfairly. They sent a bloke in Eastleigh kit to the Ipswich ground so he wouldn't be noticed. It's God, I could roll on forever, but we can't, because we've got Premier League to talk about this weekend. 2 massive games, the last games of the season. The last time Newcastle fans and Sunderland fans, you'll get to see your beautiful teams playing this weekend. Newcastle are away to Fulham, and Sunderland are at home to Chelsea. Chelsea in their last game before Xabi Alonso comes in. We don't know what's going to happen with Fulham, but we do know that Regis Labrie and Eddie Howe will be in charge potentially next season. I think you put all your money on the world that they'll be there. Let's go to Newcastle United first. They are away to Fulham, Stevie. It's going to be a very interesting game, as we were talking about just prior to, seeing how Newcastle line up. Do they give Anthony Gordon a game? Is it potentially a send-off there? I mean, do you even look at that? Is there any other players you think? Obviously, Trips has got his last game now as well in Newcastle colours. Is there any other players you think that are going to be getting a swan song, a little bit of a farewell down in London?
No, I don't think Anthony Gordon will get a game, to be honest. For the reasons I gave earlier, I just think he will be, focused on his move and focused on England. So I think he'd be on the bench if there was a major issue. I think that we'll probably find him. I think we'll probably find him available. But genuinely speaking, can't see Anthony Gordon featuring whatsoever. Fulham is a happy hunting ground for Newcastle. And it's funny how football digs up these fixtures. 2019 and 2021, we saw Newcastle United play down at Fulham at the end of the season, and we got 3 points. So I'm hoping for the same again. No Lewis Miley, of course. No Timo Livramento. No Emil Kraft, Fabian Shaw, or Joe Linton. Joe Linton's the latest one added to the injury list, but Newcastle's got more than enough to go down there and win. Fulham's form's dropped in recent weeks, and I just think it's because of the bizarre way that they've handled this kind of worst kept secret in football. I think we all know that the manager's on his way. And players will know that. But even in press conferences, he's still trying to say that no decision's been made. Potentially he could be there next season. I think he's aware that. I think that reflects on the performances. So yeah, Newcastle certainly didn't have the flip-flops on against West Ham. I don't think they're going to have the flip-flops on at Fulham. I think we will get a positive result down there. I'm going to go for a 2-1 win, and I'm looking forward to it. I've got my cousin's wedding in London on Saturday, and then I'm staying down, and he's a Mackem. He's a Sunderland fan. So on his wedding invite, he kindly invited to go to a pub on the Sunday and watch Sunderland play Chelsea, which, of course, on my wedding reply says I'll be going to see a proper football team in Fulham. And it's not Fulham. I've also got my Newcastle United pin badge to wear in my suit at the wedding. You'll be pleased to hear. I love it. But yes, Newcastle to win. Newcastle United to beat Fulham 2-1, round off the season in good style. And who knows, could finish top dogs if Chelsea do us a favour at Sunderland.
A betting man, does Newcastle finish above Sunderland this weekend, Steve?
Yeah, I think we do. I think we do. I think it'll be. I think it's almost that kind of. Well, at least we've got that to celebrate. It's no great shakes. I think we'll finishing above Sunderland will do them a favour. Bizarrely, because they won't get Europe. Chelsea beating them and us finishing above them. They're not going to get Europe, but I think if they get Europe, it's going to be a massive struggle for them next year. But look, we'll see what happens. I'm only focused on Newcastle. 2-1 win against Fulham. Nice end of the season. Asula to get another goal, I think. But I can never predict any Newcastle United scoreline without saying we're going to concede. So yeah, I think we'll go 1-0 down and then win 2-1.
I think it's going to be Newcastle 3-1. I think Asula is in fine form. And I think, as I said to you, Steve, on Instagram as well, I think Asula is the Isak replacement. It was the answer lies within. Without having to go and get the Wisser and the Walter Marters, Asula was sitting there waiting, and we never knew. I wish he had playing from the start of the season. Over to you, Teddy boy. I
can't argue with D Hall, by the way. You listen, people found square twice this season. I mean, that's it at the end of the day. But, and Ted's right. There's no argument to it. We were crap in both derbies. Well, both teams were crap in the first one. Nick Walter-Martin just decided to score a worldie for you. But the second game, Sunderland were the better team. So, yeah, I can't complain.
Very gracious,
Teddy boy,
mate. Very gracious. Newcastle
versus Fulham, mate, in Fulham.
Oh, Fulham are going to dick them. Steve being all gracious. Nah, you're going to get shafted. No. In all seriousness, no. I could see this being an entertaining game, to be honest. I think we all know Marco Silva is probably going to be on his way. So I think you want to go out on a positive note. Fulham, they're always there or thereabouts in that sort of mid-table zone. They're not one of these who's going to sort of kick on for top honours or anything like that, but they're a good, solid outfit, and at times they can actually play some decent football. You are an absolute beast. Absolute beast.
The timing.
So I'm actually going to go with an entertaining Desmond. I don't want Steve to have a bad end to his weekend. Obviously, the better member of the Wraith family is getting married that weekend, so I'm wishing all the best to him. But yeah, listen, I think an entertaining 2-2 draw for Fulham and Newcastle.
Oh, well, we've actually got a potential another game to predict here as well with Middlesbrough in the Wembley final. Can you believe it? If it was,
really?
Let's do it with Sunderland. Obviously, they got Chelsea at home, a game that could see them, if results go their way, landing in a European spot. Can you believe it, Sunderland fans? I mean, everyone tips us to finish last and get 6 points, except yours truly, Roy Keane, who predicted you guys to stay up and finish mid-table, which you look like you have done. Teddy boy, it's been a fantastic season. You probably want long may it continue, but obviously it does have to come to an end, and it comes to an end at this weekend against Chelsea, mate. You seem quietly confident that you are going to get the cheese and eat your cake too.
Listen, it's not going to be an easy game by any means, not at all. Chelsea are just starting to look like they're capable of putting some football together, which is at times deserted them this season. I think they'll want to impress the new man. I know, obviously, Alonso doesn't take over till July, but I would have thought he'd be there at the game just to run his eye over what he's inheriting. They've got good players. Cole Palmer, for me, is one of the most exciting English talents for many, many years. Super player. Love to watch him. He's a strange lad, mind, but yeah, he's absolute box office to watch as a footballer. But you know, we've just been proving people wrong all season. You know, I've been kind of enjoying looking over some of the comments, even from around about the playoffs this time last year, where, well, if Sunderland got to go up, you know, the last two seasons, autumn and spring. Listen, I don't doubt this club anymore. Even if we change manager, even if we change players, there's a good organisational factor about the club. The positivity is around the place again, and it hasn't been there for a long time, lads. It really hasn't. You know, I've got to go back to the Peter Reid era for it to be anything like this. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you know, we've been through it. You follow your club through thick and thin, but with Sunderland, it's been thin and thinner for many, many years now. But this has just been such a treat for us all this season. Yeah. So, you know, whatever happens, like I say, and it's not a cop-out by any means, whatever happens on Sunday, we've just had an unbelievable season.
Yeah.
If we got Europe, yeah, I think we would struggle. But you know what? We love being the ones marked to struggle, because that's how we can prove everybody wrong. Correct. The mantra of the club's till the end. I think we will snatch a victory late on. I think we're in for an absolute epic game against Chelsea, which Sunderland are going to triumph 3-2. And maybe, who knows, we might even see Sunderland playing in Cyprus in that Europa Conference.
It's going to be bloody interesting. Steve, does Sunderland get over Chelsea at home on the weekend to maybe sneak into the European places and maybe finish above Newcastle United?
He's going to do a tactical jinx here. He's going to do a tactical jinx. I know what he's like. I can see it in his face.
The Steve Ray think.
I think Sunderland are going to win this game comprehensively, 5-0. I think Luke O'Nien's going to score 4 goals.
Yeah, I hope you won't dish him more convincingly than that.
and Robbie's going to score as well. Yeah. I mean, my logic here is that I predicted Sunderland to get beat off Everton and they bloody won. So, it's a tough game. It's a tough game. You know, Chelsea suddenly found a bit of steel since the manager's gone, despite the fact that the manager that they've just appointed isn't going to be in place until, you know, pre-season. It's weird. They're a car crash of a club at times, Chelsea. So it's probably pointing towards a draw, which is enough for Sunderland, of course, to get what they need. Maybe he's not getting into Europe. I think it's such a difficult thing to predict this weekend. Emotions are going to be high at Stadium of Light. Whatever happens, and again, as a black and white through and through, this has been a great season for Sunderland. It's been up there probably with Newcastle returning, you know, as the entertainers in 90, 92, 93. You know, everyone had written them off. They're not going to last 5 minutes, and they've come and rocked the division. So, yeah, I'm going to go for it. I'll go. My serious prediction is a 2-2 draw. I think it'll be a draw. And yeah, where does that put us? You're 2 points ahead of us. that would give you a point. And if Newcastle won, Newcastle would be above Sunderland.
Above on goal difference.
Above on goal difference.
Which is basically level.
Well, it's not, because we've got better goals, and bear in mind we've got this season. I think that's probably what will happen. And neither team gets Europe. But Sunderland will always have the fact that beat us twice, and those who it means a great deal to will be crowing on for the whole summer, saying, "Well, we finished top dogs." It's just the way it is. It's the mentality, isn't it? We're not like that on this show. We're all friends.
I'm going to tell you now. I will tell you now. If we get Europe, you think Rise Loud? Honestly, I'll turn up in the nude. I will do the whole show doing a handstand.
It's Europe, you man. It's spelled with a Y.
Yeah, Europe.
You're sitting there naked with your cheesy chips and your blue panda pop.
It's a good job Ryan isn't getting Boro, because at least I can pronounce Borussia Mönchengladbach. You know what I mean?
I'm going for a Sunderland win. I think you guys are going to finish off an amazing season with a fantastic win at home to thank your fans and get. I'm not sure about Europe. I can't predict that because obviously games going against you and I don't know the likes of it, but I still think you'll be able to beat Chelsea. And I think you'll send Chelsea back down, and Xabi Alonso's got a massive job there. And I honestly think you'll be on the brink of Europe, if not in it.
The most Sunderland thing in the world is if we win and then Brentford go and win it at Anfield.
Exactly.
That'd be sod's law, But,
It will be. It will be. Now, one more game, lads. Barring an appeal. Middlesbrough
two appeals because Hull are trying to jinx
my God. So we got Hull. If you've just joined us as well, Hull City, and I know we're getting into overtime here. We will wrap it up quickly, but Hull City have launched a legal appeal now to say that they should be promoted straight through the Premier League. They shouldn't have to face us. Southampton are appealing it this afternoon, their decision to be removed from the playoff final. It's all up in the air, but if this game goes ahead 3:30 p.m. at Wembley on Saturday, Middlesbrough versus Hull, as we think might happen, can Middlesbrough do it? No Tommy Conway, potentially Hayden Hackney returns. We've come off the back of a loss. The lads were crying at the end of the game. They thought their season was done. We were sitting in second for 202 days of this season to flip-flop it at the end and not to have our chances taken away for automatic promotion, to go through the playoffs, to lose to Southampton over 2 legs, and now potentially through everything that's happened, find ourselves at Wembley. Can Middlesbrough beat Hull City on the weekend? I'm going yes, and it is a 2-0 win to Middlesbrough if we get there. Teddy boy.
It's written. It's Hollywood, mate. It's absolute Hollywood stuff. This Boro's going to do it. I think it'll be a little bit more tense than what you're letting on, which I know you could do without. But I reckon Boro win this 2-1, and this is an all Premier League show next season.
Yep, it's going to be very, very interesting. Steve, can Middlesbrough beat Hull on Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, I've seen lots of reports about Hull that, their fans don't believe that they're ready for the Premier League. They reckon it would be an absolute disaster if they went up. I mean, £180 million game is still life-changing for a team like Hull. But I don't think they're good enough to beat Middlesbrough. Not at Wembley, not with a big occasion. And Hacken coming back is definitely a game changer. So I think you're going to be biting your nails. But I think it's going to be a 2-1 win for the Boro, and we're going to be reunited in the Premier League, lads. And next year is going to be epic.
God. Honestly, it is so much to play out between now and Saturday, lads. A potentially plane flight for me to get over as well. If we are on our way to Wembley, you will see me on a plane. You will see me at Wembley if Middlesbrough are to be there. We have confirmed it with the league. I will be coming over on Friday, a last-minute flight, if I need to get over to be there at Wembley to watch the mighty Boro play. I hope we can do it. I hope we can get there, but we do have Hull City upset. They are going down a legal path. Southampton's still upset. They're going down an appeal path. I mean, the best thing out of this is the EFL have sold 3 teams tickets to Wembley at the end of the day. I mean, they've sold more tickets than they actually have seats at Wembley, and they're sitting there lining their pockets. So they're quite happy with that. But it's going to be bloody interesting. We've got a long way to go. We are not going anywhere. If you haven't heard, Three's a Crowd will be continuing into the summer. So just because the Premier League ends this weekend, we do not. We will be back with all of your transfer news, all of your World Cup news, all of your Spygate news, all the updates about Ted's new cat, everything that happens in our world. We will share it with you right here on Three's a Crowd. We are not going anywhere, and we appreciate each and every one of you beautiful listeners out there tuning in, week out, either on NUFC Matters or at Invictus or at Ted the Mackem. Thank you so much for being here. Good luck for your last days of the season. If you are traveling, please be safe and enjoy it. Sunderland, what a season it's been. Newcastle, what a season it's been. And Middlesbrough, what a season it's been. Wembley, Europe. I don't know, lads. I don't know. Feels like it's be starting something. Gotta be starting something. It's bye for now. We'll see you next time on Three's the Crowd.
Three's a Crowd podcast will return. That's not a threat, it's a promise.